Dom Link, it's your boy Ing. Welcome to another review, another episode of The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 10. Yeah, it is 18 mile away. So, first of all, episode, it was a lot of needed stuff. Was it great? But I still enjoyed it. Hey, it's some old school Walking Dead before it got bad, and it was still good. So we're gonna enjoy it for what it is, and we'll be very happy about it. We got the Randall escape, which is kind of crazy because Randall wasn't in the place where he was surrounded by Walker, which is basically like a school, and you don't know what's going on. But then you realize it's later in the episode, which is kind of cool, cold open, because you know that shit's about to go down. We got the Shane and Rick decide to bring Randall, right? Because again, they don't want him. He's healed. It's time for him to go. They decide to save him, right? Rick Shane talks, right? Because Ricky wants Shane to know about Otis. So Rick wants Shane to know about Otis and what happened. So again, this episode is mostly about Rick and Shane and the relationship they have. How it's time to settle the score. It's time to to say the truth to each other. Something we needed. We got he says, okay, I know about Otis. He asks why. And Shane, to his credit, he's honest. He's like, yo, it was me or him, right? It was me or him. And then he said something I don't understand. He said he didn't belong there, which possibly means it's a place for the strong, not the weak. But then your group is full of weak people, so and it's just some really cool moments, you know, because yes, there's a lot of weak people, but then again, it's choose by who you like and who you don't like, right? So, as honest, Cheney tells Rick that he's too weak to focus, right? And he's too weak to focus on kindness. So if you're what he's trying to say is, you're if you're very strong, you can protect people. But if you can't protect people, then you have to think about survival. And there's a cool moment where Ricky asks Shane, "You think I wouldn't have killed Otis to protect my own?" Shane said, "I don't know," which is kind of cool because again, it's just the idea, the concept behind it's like saying, okay, well, I did something really bad, but I did protect it. Would you have been able to do the same sacrifices to protect your people? Which is taking something that's morally wrong for right reason and saying, am I willing to cross the line? Which is something Rick doesn't. We don't know. Rick tells Shane he knows about Lori and him, and it's this really cool moment where I understand, and it's kind of fucked up because with Lori's like, yo, I understand. You thought I was dead, right? But with Shane, he's like, nah, I would have fuck you up. I want to beat you up, which is weird because if you're looking from that same, if you're looking at that perspective, it's as if Rick was madder at Shane and Lori, but Lori was wrong too. So that I didn't appreciate. Uh, oh my god, but Lori and he showed, oh my god, and he said, bro, that's impressive. Rick in this episode is flawless. He said to Shane, yo, I want to fuck you up, but I show kindness. I show forgiveness. The same kindness you're telling me not to show. Right? He marks territory. He said, you know what? She's my wife. Carl is my son. The unborn baby is my kid. Which is, he's setting up boundaries, which is something he should have done the second he knew about him and Lori. But he waited. And it's nice that we saw that it was something he did, right? Shane explained the hospital, and here is why you feel bad about Shane. So first of all, we're gonna put something aside. In the comic, it's very different. In the comic, Shane is clearly in love with Lori before because you remember that night in the traffic where a lot of people die. Well, in the comic, this is the first time they have sex, which is technically a couple of days after Rick is dead. Right, so he explained the hospital, and he said they were shooting at people. They were shot me, so I had to let you go. And Shane understands, right? He told Shane, he said, I needed Lori and Carl. They saved me. I didn't save them. They saved me because we understand that Shane is going through a lot, and that feeling of peaceful, that feeling of stability, was something that helped him stay stable, which is admittedly something that's really hard to admit. Like knowing that if you don't have those people, you're gonna be one crazy mess, right? And yes, we have that. I stole a knife from work. This is one of the guys at work. He always leaves his knife. And today I did not have a knife, so just took it. Oops. So we have that. We got Lauren Carl. He regrets. He regrets everything he said. If I could take it back, I would. Which arguably it's easy to say when you've done it. Now the question isn't would you take it back, is do Rick believe him? Because if Rick believes him, it can heal the relationship, the friendship. Get Maggie who asking advice, and it's really fucking cool. Because Maggie, she asks advice about Glenn. She's like, how do you do it? We know that Rick is one of the person that does the most for the group. And Glenn is also one of the person that does the most for the group. It's like, how do you deal with the fact that he's always leaving? He said, Laurie, she said, I'm afraid. And that's why one of the episodes where I really respect Laurie. She's like, yeah, I'm scared every time, and I cannot let them know. I have to be strong for him. I have to make sure that when he's here, I take care of him. He takes care of us. I have to make sure that he knows that I love him and that he matters. And basically, this is a huge step for Maggie too, because it's Maggie understanding that she might have to let Glenn go. And every time since she told Glenn she loved him, every time that happened and Glenn had to go, she's like, don't leave. Now she's willing to let him go, but she has to understand how to let him go. So that's a really big move for Maggie. Really mature, super cool on how to deal with Glenn leaving. She tells Maggie she needs to be strong. Rick and Shane, they talk about the survival knife versus gun, which is believably the first time in the show that we're thinking about what is the better option. Like, guns are quicker, guns are one shot, they don't make noise, it might be safer, it might be a problem. And it's the first time that we're thinking about, okay, we have weapons, doesn't mean we have to use them. And it's kind of crazy because the whole season, they spend it trying to teach people teach people how to survive, how to use gun. Yeah, that they're going back on their word with knowing more. It's kind of cool. It's kind of something I appreciate, you know. So we have that. We have survival knife things. Shane actually thinks that winter is safer, and for those who were wondering, yes, it's safer because the zombies are weaker in winter, right? They cannot move as fast, and the fact that Shane is like, yo, we just have to survive till winter. But winters also mean that the farm is not working. So what are you gonna do for food? It's gonna be another problem, you know. We have winter is safer. Beth is still depressed. Rick went to leave Randall. Ricky wants to leave Randall in a kind of safe place. So he's like, okay, they said 18 mile, and then Ricky goes further, and then Shane asks him, and Ricky said, I want to give him a fighting chance, which is kind of cool, and Shane agrees because sure. They end up in a school. Beth, she's willing to give up. She begs to give up because she took a knife. She swallowed a knife. And Laurie, and it's funny because it's important the fact that Laurie talks to her, and the fact that Laurie and Andrea talks to her, and they're both giving a different argument. And it's kind of cool because Laurie, she's like, yo, I know it's hard. I've been here. I understand how you feel. There's something to live for, you know. And she's trying to. She's trying to. She is trying to help her. She's trying to cheer her up. Admittedly, it's not really effective, but she's trying. This is something more. It's a lot about Beth this episode too, which is cool because Beth is gonna be important, right? We got the. Then she come back because Beth stole the knife. She almost committed suicide. And okay, let's talk about it right now. There's Laurie, this Andrea, and there's Maggie. They all have a different approach. And then it's important because those approach are gonna be primordial for the following. Laurie's like, you don't give up. There's still hope. Just be strong. Just take your time. Heal. You'll be fine. Which is kind of cool, right? We got that. We got this. We got She saw the night. She got Reno plead to be safe, right? And it's kind of cool because they leave him there. Reno pleads to be safe. He pleads like, don't let me here. I'm gonna die. And Ricky gives him the knife. He's like, what happened here is here. Up to you. I don't care. And he pleads until he said, I know Maggie. Which means he know exactly where the farm is. Which means he he has to die. That's another big part. It's another huge part of the what should we call it? It's another huge part of the story because like, okay, well, it's too late. And Reno fucked it up because if he didn't say, they would have not. I would have not said it. But then again, he would have possibly died. So, what is the best way to do? Right. Shane almost killed Shane. He comes to shoot at him, and Ricky he pushes Shane because he knows that it's not the right move right now. And the fact that they're starting to fight here is amazing because ultimately it leads to their demise. Right, we got Shane. Big deal is showing their choices. Right, protect. Oh yeah. They're talking about who to protect. Like, oh, Shane wants to kill him to protect the many, and Ricky tells him the famous meme, and here they're really arguing. He tells him the famous meme. You talk as if you know where we're going. We're lost, man. I love that. So it was a really cool moment. Really fucking cool moment. Probably one of the most famous meme of Walking Dead, right? Physical fight. You start to fight the whole fight, and immediately it's not the best thing to do. But again, you're like, fuck. They need to happen, and the fact that it need to happen is a good sign because we can move on, right? Which is important in something like that, like a moment like that. I need to sharpen my pen. We had that moment. We have Rick question the physical fight, and then Shane he does the unthinkable, and he throws a wrench at Rick, which could have killed him, right? And then he breaks a window, which summoned the walker inside the school. So now they're overrun, and this is the scene we saw in the very beginning of the episode, which is again super important because say before that they were kind of safe. They were protected. There was no walker around. There you go. Sharpen your knife. Sharpen your pen. That's important. We have a physical fight. Then it's fucked. Maggie is told Beth. Again, this I was telling you. Maggie and Lori and Maggie. She tells Beth, "You cannot leave us. Your sacrifice is injuring all of us. Your choices are going to be consequences for all of us. You don't think about that. You don't think about me. You don't think about anybody but yourself, right?" And that's another way of talking to Beth about how she's responsible, how there's not a lot of human left, and she has to do her part. There's a I was thinking about that at work today. There's a lower amount of employees, so you have to work harder. And there's a lower amount of humans, so everybody has to maintain humanity. Does more. And then we have Andrea who thinks Beth is right about suicide. And then we remember that season one, Andrea wanted to commit suicide. So we thought she was safe. She thought she was healed. Was she healed? Right? I don't know. I'm not here. Though she tells she's selfish. Andrea she's selfish because Andrea she doesn't do shit around the camp. She sit there and protect people, but other people are protecting, and a lot of because she's like enough. Everybody else has to work harder, and she's like, I'm doing my part. He's like, no, you're doing the part you want, which is selfish. And she's right, and then Andrea says, Laurie, you're selfish, and she's right, dude. She's right. I didn't think about that, so she tells Laurie like, yo, your husband is safe, right? Your husband is safe. You have your son. You're gonna have another baby. You're basically the person with the best situation in this place. You're the person with the best. You have everything you want and more. And then you're calling me selfish. You're the selfish one. You being selfish equal. And it's kind of crazy. She said you being selfish equal you having the best possible solution, best possible scenario in your life. And that's a shame because you think I'm selfish, but you're selfish. I've lost a lot. Everybody has lost a lot except for you. Which admittedly, Laurie doesn't have lost a lot. People that lost a lot are Carol. Yeah, Carol, she lost a lot, dude. I got Daryl, who lost his brother. We got Glenn, who almost died a couple of times, and he's afraid to lose. He's afraid to lose. We got Dale, who lost Angela, who lost his wife. We got Rick, who wanted to kill a lot. Shane wanted to kill a lot. A lot of people, they lost a lot, and Laurie, she got lucky, right? So she said that Laurie, she's selfish, which is true. Double kill. Ricky has a beautiful double kill where there's two walker on top of him, and he aligns them and he shoots them both. That was fucking super cool. We got the double kill, Rick and Beth. Okay, Beth question life. Beth question if life is worth it, like if there's still hope, and that's important because if there's still hope, there's life. When there's hope, there's life. When there's life, there's hope. So she asked, she questioned, and then again Maggie, she saved her, she's trying to save her at least. We got says Rick is family first, so he's like, and she's not wrong. She's not wrong. She's like, Blood save me. If Rick has to make a choice, he's gonna choose his family. If Shane has to make a choice, he's gonna choose his family. We have. They're our friend, yes, but they're gonna put themselves first, which is normal. Betty, she says, you're all I have, except for her. She has Patricia, which is depressed. She has Jimmy, who died. She has her dad, who's out of nowhere. I don't know. We haven't seen Daryl, Carol. A lot of people missing from this episode. A lot of people missing. We got question Maggie save Rick family first. Shane survival. Shane he learns to survival. Shane gets stuck in a bus, right? And he cuts his hand. He knows they're addicted to blood, so he put in the entry of the door and he kills. So we saw Rick being able to survive, but Shane being able to survive and in a better fashion. Shane doesn't have a weapon; he only has a knife, and he's surrounded by Walker. So that's is super fucking cool because again, we're seeing the two guys that just had a fight. They just start fighting. They're separated, which means a lot coming out. Oh fuck. Rick family first. Shane survival. With blood, and just she gives Beth the choice. She leaves her alone. She tells Beth, if you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. If you don't want to kill yourself, don't kill yourself. Which is pretty selfish, and immediately it works. Spoiler, it works. But then you still took a long risk with a life that wasn't yours. If it was a group, if it was your sister, okay, do. But she's a stranger, and it has different consequences. Are amazing, right? We got Rick. Oh man, Randall, he tells Rick, we have to go, and Rick wants to save Shane, but then you notice he can't save Shane because he's surrounded, and he does the same thing that Shane did with Otis. He leaves him, right? And Shane knows, oh, holy shit, my best friend leave me. Situation is fucked. I'm fucked. But Shane still fights. Then we have Rick. You see two dead cops. They're laying together, and it reminds him of the bond they have. So he come back to save Shane. Even if Rick come back, he still abandoned me. I'm happy you came back, but you still abandoned me, which means something, right? We have Andrea, or she kicks out of the house for her action. Laurie, she defends her, but she still did that, and I'm happy it happened because yeah, like Shane is not allowed in the house, but Andrea she's acting like Shane, and she shouldn't be allowed in the house either. She's selfish as fuck. So good on Maggie. We got Laurie defends. Ultimately, the whole episode ultimately proved that Andrea wants to live. Ultimately proved that Beth, she gave the same choice that her and Beth had, and Beth chose to live, which is cool. Beth, she takes a piece of glass and she apologized. It wasn't deep, right? Rick and Shane agreed to kill Randall. Rick says he's the boss, right? Rick says, I'm the boss. It's the way I want. I'm in charge. I saved you. I'm in charge. And he said that's final. And Shane, the episode ends by him thinking. We don't know what he's thinking. We don't know about what. But we know he's thinking. So that is something. That's it. That's the episode. So I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.